Okay, I saw the live stream go, so we're okay to start. All right. Okay. This meeting of the Kailua Village Design Commission will come to order. The time is 1:13 p.m. Welcome, everyone. My name is Sean Roth. I'm the chairperson of the Kailua Village Design Commissions, and I will introduce the commissioners that are in the meeting today. We have Elena Kiltusky, Palani Greenwell, Coleman Kaopua, and Sing Young. And commissioners, remind you to keep your video on during the meeting. And commissioners, if anyone has anyone there in your area with you, can you please let us know at this time? I'll start and say that Kari Kimura is in the room next door to me. Does anyone else have anyone there?
Yeah, my drafter is on the other side of the office right now, Winter Anderson.
Okay. Great, thank you.
My wife's in the living room, but we're separated by a closed door.
Okay, thank you, Coleman. Right. The commissioner's role is to provide an architectural and design review of proposed projects, including landscaping and signage within the Kailua Village Special District. Commission is an advisory body. For sign permits, the commission's recommendations are forwarded to the Public Works Director for action. For architectural design review, the commission's recommendations are forwarded to the Planning Director for action. The procedures of this meeting are that Robert's Rules of Order will be used to conduct the meeting. Each commissioner wishing to speak should be recognized by the chairperson before speaking. Applicants and members of the public should be recognized by the chairperson when testifying or asking questions. Each application will be heard in the order listed on the agenda. Staff will introduce each project. Applicants will be asked to make a presentation or statement, which will be followed by questions from the commissioners. Public testimony will be taken. The commission, after discussion, will vote to make a recommendation for approval, denial, or deferral. The first item on the agenda is minutes. The minutes from the October 10th meeting were distributed. Are there any corrections to these minutes? Okay, I'm hearing no corrections. So the minutes are approved. Our first item of new business. Oh, first, are there any statements from the public on the agenda items?
No, Chair, there were no comments. This is Ross Newland.
Okay.
No statements. Yeah.
No, okay, so there were no statements from the public.
Right.
The first item of new business is application PL KVD 2023-000046. The applicant, Peter J. of Piper Designs, representative for D&L Fujimoto LLC, is requesting a design review for new signs to be installed on an existing commercial building located at the corner of Hanama Place and Kuakini Highway. The new signs include a main wall marquee sign and 4 new tenant signs. The area of the proposed marquee sign is 19.2 square feet with a maximum letter height of 17 inches. The area of the new tenant signs is 9.5 square feet with a maximum letter height of 9 inches. The sign colors match the exterior colors of the building with the use of tan, brown, and green. The applicant is Peter J. Piper of Piper Designs, D&L Fujimoto LLC, TMK 75007-033, located at 75-5722 Hanama Place in Kailua Kona. Will staff please give us an introduction to this application?
Yes, Chair, just a moment, please. Okay, can you see that?
Yep, it's coming
Okay.
up.
Okay, great. So this is the agenda item number 1. This is the Kona Center, I think that's what it's called, right at the corner of Hanama Place and Kuakini Highway, right across from where the county building used to be, county offices. There's the tax map, and circled in blue is the, looks like a large lot, but it's 1.4 something acres. Right there in the corner of Kootenai and Hall Place. Hold on. There's an aerial image, the building set back with a parking lot at the corner and a kiosk in the middle of the parking lot with a small little takeout restaurant. And let me get my oops. Get my arrow pointer. The sign, the corner sign would go right at the corner of Hanama and Kuakini. And then the rest of the signs are on the building. Except the front of the building facing Kuakini. There's a survey of the sign of the parcel showing where the tenant signs would be in the kiosk, which shows as a restaurant kiosk. Here is the front of the building with the Kona Center and the turtle or honu in the front. And we got comments back from, oops, I was trying to make that larger. Oh, here we go. See if I can make that larger. Trying to get the. So this measure is 17, the local measure is 17 inches high. And the comments from DPW was that the maximum height is 9 inches. Per letter or logo per section 359C shall not exceed 9 inches, and the maximum wall, and they're saying that the marquee sign that reads Kona Center and the Honu logo are interpreted as a wall sign, and wall sign height is 9 feet above grade. And when I go back to the previous slide, if I zoom in, I believe it's over 20 feet above grade. So they will have to work with Department of Public Works about a variance, it seems. They didn't say that in their comments, but it doesn't meet sign code for the height of the wall sign or the size of the letters or the logo, because the letters on the wall sign are 17 inches. The tenant signs, the wall sign area and the letter height is compliant with chapter 358. But the elevation is above 9 feet. So again, this is something that the applicant will have to work out with a sign variance with Department of Public Works, because they're showing the elevation of 11 feet. Well, I think yeah, to the top of the sign. So it'll be a little bit less to the bottom of the sign. I think you measured to the bottom of the sign. So they're calling these wall signs, which or DPW comment would be 9 feet. Above, yeah, 9 feet above finished grade. And so the colors are match the building. They're green, tan, and brown. That's all the slides. Oh, here's the tenant signs, what they say. Rockstar Pet Supplies and Gifts, TK Noodle House, Black Lava Vape, and Science Lab. And this is the resort hotel, I believe it's the resort hotel zoning district. So all those would be permitted uses. I think it's resort hotel. I should double check that because. And they've had various plan approvals done over the years. When the kiosk was added with the restaurant, they did a plan approval. They recently updated their variance for the main building for the roof eaves that extend into the front yard setback off Hanama Place. And they've done other variants, and they have parking in the back. They see, they show that. They have parking in the rear of the building. Part of that is that they're going before the planning commission to discuss use of that parking for SMA parking for access to the shoreline. Because this is not a place that has a pedestrian access that goes back to the Lee Drive. But anyways, get back to the point. There's the signage and there's the picture of it. And any comments, any questions?
Hey, commissioners, does anyone have any questions for Roz, for staff? I'm not seeing anyone unmute. So does the applicant have anything that they would like to present?
Well, I have some questions. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
All right. So as you said, I have them identified as wall signs. I heard somebody refer to I think the upper one, the one that's up higher, as a marquee sign. It's a little unclear in the sign code as to what to call it. Am I identifying it incorrectly?
Hi, it's Roz. I got comments back from Department of Public Works Building Division because we send out for comments. And their comment number 1 was proposed marquee sign that reads Kona Center and the Honu logo are interpreted as wall signs by chapter 3, definition section 3-3. So we presented the agenda item as you presented it in yours. Description as a wall marquee sign. However, it is building interpretation of the sign chapter 3 signs that we are following in this presentation now. Because
Yeah.
we get the comments after the application goes to the agenda and then before them and as we present to the meeting.
So I knew before I submitted this that I'd have to go for a variance for the logo size and the lettering size.
Mhm.
But as far as the heights, this is the first time I've heard this, and somehow I feel like I'm referring them to them as the wrong type of sign. But so are you saying that I need to contact Public Works to get clarification on that?
Well, in either case, you're gonna need a variance, so however it goes forward, you'll work that out with your variance requests.
But you probably, if they've already identified it as a wall sign, in your
Yes,
variance, you probably want to say that you're asking for a variance for the wall sign, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's all I have.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for the applicant?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead, Singh.
Yes, and the parking, I know you do the parking in the back area, and which county has a parking and meter against the wall between the wall and the Kona Plaza parking. You think you got enough parking stall for all the vendor and the tenant?
I can't answer that. I'm not involved in the parking. I'm aware, the only thing I know about the parking is that the owner is seeking to have paid parking in the rear of the building, which apparently, I don't know if that's what you were referring to, Roz, but that they've had paid parking in the front of the building for a long time. But now that was designated as public parking in the rear of the building. But he's in the process of turning it into paid parking. And I think there's some application, I think maybe that's pending with planning on that. I'm not sure though. But that's all I know about the parking.
I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt really quick. This is not part of our application review. This is a separate issue. Our design review is for the signs only, not for discussion of what's going on with the rest or the parking on the parcel. So
Yeah, we need
you
to
have a
keep the
really good
discussion-
question, Singh, but we have to keep it in line with what we are actually reviewing for this application.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Peter. So we'll move on to discussion, and I'll begin discussion with saying that just in general, I've been really happy to see that this building has been, fixed up and upgraded, and they're trying to keep it looking good and, looking better and better. And as far as like the sign size and the heights, I think that variance is definitely in order here, because that original building had big signage on this rooftop thing, right? And so if you don't, you'd have to like totally change the architecture of the building in order to have a sort of compliant sign, and it would look sort of ridiculous. And the building is actually below Kuakini Highway grade quite a bit, so it needs to be high. I think that the applicant has presented a very attractive and sort of well put together package of signs, having the large wall sign on top, and then also handling all the tenant signs uniformly. And so I'd be in favor of recommending approval of this design, and then also recommending to Public Works that they approve a variance for the heights as well as the letter size. Because to me, it seems that the scale of it is all appropriate to the building and the distance from the street and so on. Commissioners, would anyone else like to add to discussion?
I agree with everything you just said. I think proportion wise, the logo size and the letter size, everything looks good for, like you said, how high it is on the building and how far away it is from the street. So.
Okay, anyone else?
Yep, same here. I just want to put it on the record that Peter and I work on the same projects quite often. But I'm not working on this one. I don't think it's any reason for me to recuse myself. Just want to throw that out there.
Okay.
But yeah, I agree with everything you guys are saying.
Okay. Great. Would anyone care to make a motion on this application? Anybody?
I would, but I'm not quite sure how.
Approve the application as submitted and recommend that a variance be granted for the sign height and size.
I make a motion for that. Do I have to repeat it, the whole thing? I make a motion to approve the application as submitted with the exception of with the variance.
And recommend a variance. Yeah.
And recommend a variance to be approved as has been applied. This application has been made. Sorry.
Deanne's writing it down. Okay, and we have a second from, was that Coleman or Polani? Coleman. Okay. Okay.
Okay, Chair, we'll do a roll call vote.
Yeah. Oh, first, is there any discussion?
Oh, sorry.
Any discussion on the motion? Okay, I'm not seeing any discussion. Let's go on to voting. Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Greenwell,
Aye.
Commissioner Kapua, second of the motion.
It was Palani who seconded, but I'm an
Oh, I
aye.
thought it was you. I'm sorry. So,
No, it was Palani,
okay, take
but
that
I will aye
away.
that.
Okay, aye. Commissioner Kilkuski, maker of the motion.
Aye.
Commissioner Roth, we'll need your vote tonight.
Aye.
Commissioner Singh,
Aye.
okay, so it's 5 votes in favor. We unanimous for tonight.
Great. The motion is adopted. Okay. So thank you, Peter. We'll move on to the second item of new business on the agenda. That's application PL-KVD 2023000048. The applicant, Rainey Castro, representative for John Allen Sign Company, is requesting a design review for new signs to be installed on an existing commercial building located at the corner of Kuakini Highway and Kualalai Road. The new signs include a new canopy logo sign to replace the existing canopy logo sign and 2 new ground signs to replace existing signs. The area of the proposed canopy sign logo is 16.75 inches diameter circle with a maximum logo height of 9 inches. The area of the new tenant signs is 12 square feet with a maximum letter height of 9 inches. The colors match the exterior color of the building with the use of gray, orange, white, and green in the signs. The applicant, Rainey Castro, landowner, MDC Coast Hawaii 1 LLC, TMK 75008-014, located at 75-5756 Kuakini Highway. Will staff please give us an introduction to this application?
Thank you, Chair. Let me share this PowerPoint. Okay, do you see that PowerPoint slide?
Yep, got it.
Okay, great. So this is for the 76 station at the corner of Walleye and Kuakini. There's the intersection of Walleye and Kuakini. And there's an aerial image. So I can zoom, oops. So I can zoom in, well, you'll see in a minute, but you'll see the main building and the that doesn't really show the, well, it kind of shows the canopy, but you don't see the tenant signs. There's their aerial image. Here's the canopy sign. There's their logo. Got a better picture of their logo. Here we go. So I didn't get any DPW comments. So I don't know if they're okay with the way they measured, but here's their letters. They're 9 inches on the logo. So that must be okay then. So we'll see what as they proceed with their sign permit. So set a 9-inch logo or letter height. I'm not sure how you'd measure the logo height on that. Because I always think of the orange making that as the logo, but we'll see what happens as they proceed. But anyways, they do show the number height with the letter height is 9 inches. And then the diameter is 16 and 70.75 inches. There's the canopy. They have 2 tenant signs. They're both approximately 9 inches high, I believe. Yeah, 4. Actually, this is 16 inches high. And it's got the numbers. They're replacing existing signs, but this gas station has been there for quite some time. But they have 2 front yards and there's, I believe it's CV zoning district. They only have to have 1 front yard. So 1 sign needs to be 6 feet or less, because we count them, or less than 6 feet, because we see them as similar to fences in the zoning code. So if it's less than 6 feet or 6 feet or less, it can be in the setback, because these are both in the front yard setback. So they're both about 16 feet high. So 1 could remain at 16 feet and be in the setback, and 1 would need to be 6 feet or less and be in the setback, or less than 6 feet. It just depends on how we proceed with that. So that would need to be modified to be in compliance with the zoning code. But it shouldn't be too hard because they're on a pole, so they could just bring it down. 1 is on a single pole, and oops, 1 is on a double pole. So it would be up to the applicant to decide how they want to proceed with that. And this would drop it down to the wall. Depends on which is more visible. That would, they both kind of have a similar situation, they have a low rock wall. But they show the colors, they're the standard 76 station colors, orange and green with a white background. And this tenant sign or the will be like a directory or wall, ground sign is, yeah, letter height 9 inches. Yeah. So. I don't think I really had anything more to add to that. They're replacing existing signs. So. That's all the slides I have. Does anyone have any questions?
So Rod, I saw on the page, that page that you're on there,
Yeah,
and that sign, it looks like they've got called out LED lights, so that one is lit.
oh, I see, yes, it is, so it is illuminated, yes,
Okay, and then I'll ask the applicant for more clarity on that.
right. You know, we don't get this, the same, it's like I looked on the sign, but we don't get that same information on the application itself. We used to get the blue form that said whether it was illuminated or not, should have checked the sign permit, so. But yeah,
Okay, commissioners, does anyone else have any questions for Roz?
I just have a quick note.
Okay, Elena, go ahead.
I'm looking at the document, and it looks like those signs are actually 11 feet tall, not 16, just FYI.
11, okay, I'm gonna go back to her. Oh, I see, yeah, the overall height, I'm sorry. Yeah, oh, you're right, it's 11 feet, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's better,
Okay,
So to be clear, they are wanting to replace both signs in their entirety with these that are shown.
yes.
the application calls for. Okay. Okay, thank you, Roz. Does the applicant have anything they'd like to present?
Great. Can you hear me?
Yep, yeah, you
Okay.
just, now we
Hi.
can.
Hi.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're just presenting the canopy sign that will be replacing the existing. It'll actually be smaller than the existing one that's there now. And then the two ground signs will also be smaller than what there currently is now. But yeah, if you're needing us to have the elevation be 6 feet rather than 11 feet for one of the signs, we can definitely present that to the client, and most likely it'll be the smaller sign. We can make 6 feet tall rather than 11 feet.
Okay, Rainey, I have a question on the, are any of the existing signs illuminated?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, they're all illuminated and they're just having the faces being replaced to have the newer logo and the new coloring.
okay. Yeah, so both of the existing ground signs are illuminated, and then the new ones will be also illuminated. And then the canopy sign, that one also is currently illuminated. So,
Correct.
right, okay. Okay. Commissioners, does anyone else have any other questions for the applicant? Okay. Not seeing anyone unmute or raise their hand, so thank you, Rainey. We'll move on to discussion. I would begin with the fact that they're basically replacing, the signs like with like, and they're making it smaller. And so, and it sounds like they're not going to increase the amount of illumination on the signs if they're still using the same, the same background blocks. So, I guess I'm feeling like I'm in favor of it. Doesn't seem like they're asking a lot. So anyway, interested what anyone else has to say about it.
So,
Lonnie, go ahead.
yeah, so it sounds like they would need a variance or no, if they brought one down to 6 feet, they'd be fine without a variance. Is that okay,
That's what it's sounding like, or moved it so that it's not in the setback. Yeah.
gotcha.
I'm curious about something. Because the two signs, I mean, basically they want to swap like for like, and both of them appear to be over 6 feet. So is it possible that they could keep them as drawn, or like, was it previously approved at those heights and they can just
That's something
swap
they'd
like
have
for
to
like,
work.
or-
I think that's something they'd have to work out with planning or public works, and whether or not they need a variance for it, or if they decide to just because it may be that what's existing doesn't meet the current code, right?
Mhm.
If it was, Commissioner, if it was non-conforming, if it was existing since 1966 and continuous since 1996, it would be considered non-conforming. I looked into that, but the gas station hasn't been there that long.
Okay.
And there was no evidence submitted that it was non-conforming.
So yeah, so they,
So other than that, would need a variance. They
yes,
can
they
get,
need to get a variance
Right.
or make an adjustment. Yeah. But I think for our purposes, the aesthetics and the overall design of the signs.
Interestingly enough, I just worked on a building for another site the other day, and they were replacing an existing ground sign, and they had to lower, or they chose to lower it.
Yeah. So it'd be up to the applicant to decide how they want to deal with
Yeah.
that with public works. Yeah.
There's
But-
also
Well, it's
the,
with zoning, it's a zoning issue, not a public works.
Oh, okay. With zoning. Yeah. Go ahead, Lonnie.
yeah, there's also the question of whether the letter height, I mean, to me, that whole thing is the logo. And I'm with you guys. I think I'm totally fine with it, but I have a feeling they're gonna need to get a variance for the overall size of the sign as a whole. So it might be helpful if we are in support of this to recommend approval of a variance like we did with the last one, maybe.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
For
that
the
they have to
76
come back.
logo. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're making the 76 logo smaller. Right. So
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I'm fine with it either way. I just don't want them to have to come back if it's like, if Public Works says, oh, you gotta get a variance, and we approved it or made a motion to approve or whatever. And
Yeah.
then now they have to get a variance. I don't want Rainey to have to come back to us for this.
yeah, same here. I don't think we need to see it again. Well, and actually, I feel like that the logo that's on the canopy looks like it to me, it looks too small. For the, when you see it, when you see it rendered like this, it's like it's tiny. Right.
You mean that little 76?
That little, the little 76 that we can't quite read, right? Because it's
Yeah.
so small.
We did make, the client decided to make it smaller in order to meet the 9-inch tall lettering. So that's why we ended up making it that small, but I agree, it's pretty small, pretty tiny. So if it went smaller, it would be almost not necessary.
Yeah, it's like, to me, it's like all 376 things should be like the same, that same size would make the most sense, right?
Yeah,
And-
so I mean, could we recommend to approve signs that are the same size or smaller as existing?
Yeah, I think that's a great way to say it. Yeah, same size or smaller. Yeah.
If
Yeah,
it was made the same size, would that mean that we would also still need to apply for a variance to make it the same size, or no?
So you'd probably have to have a variance, but our recommendation could be that that we recommend a variance for a sign that's the same size or smaller. Same size as existing or smaller.
Yeah, that way you guys wouldn't have to come back.
Come back to us, yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Unless you tried to make them bigger, then you'd have to come back to us.
yeah. Of course. Okay, sounds good.
Okay. So commissioners, does anyone else have any discussion items? No? So Palani, you seem to have that sort of figured out. So you want to make a motion?
Sure. I move to accept the application of the sign replacements so long as a variance is applied for to meet.
So we can say we recommend approval of a variance
Recommend approval of a variance for
for
so that-
logos of
yeah.
the same size or smaller.
for logos of the same size or smaller, and either moving or reducing the height of one of the signs to meet the current height restrictions for the zoning.
But on, yeah, that we could, that won't involve us, I don't think, so.
Yeah, I
Right.
don't think we need to add that last part because that'll be worked out in the variance process.
No, that is necessary.
Oh, the 6 foot thing? Because
That's
wouldn't
a
they be,
zoning.
oh, Dan, you're muted.
Oh, Dan, you're,
So that is part of our review for the planning side of the review of the sign permit. So that recommendation still does affect how we're reviewing it and how we would process.
But if they end up getting a variance for a sign that, like 2 signs that are 11 feet versus what, like us saying that we
So
won't approve it.
if
Okay.
they do submit a variance for the height, that is a variance to the
Zoning.
that is a zoning code variance. The sign code for the sign itself for the logo, that's a building DPW variance. So it's 2 different variances.
one's planning and one's public works.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it doesn't sound like, Rainey, it doesn't sound like you guys are, you think the height thing is a big deal.
I don't think so. I think that the client will probably be fine with the heights provided and we'll just adjust the height of the one ground sign to meet the 6 foot. Or we'll let them know that it can be put outside of the setback. I think that they're probably wanting to avoid a variance. Just to kind of move this along. So I think that, yeah, we'll take that information about the 6 foot ground sign for the smaller sign and we'll definitely advise that for them.
So the better motion for you guys then would be for us to move to approve this application as submitted or
And recommend,
variance for sign heights up to the existing sign heights. So that way you have options. You can either say, yeah, it's, you know, we'll keep it like this, or if you want, if your client wants to increase the size of the sign, they won't have to come back through us, but you will still need the variance for that. Is that,
Yeah.
have that right?
If we make any of those changes, we'll definitely apply for the variance, but we will follow your rules of making the one ground sign 6 foot tall or moving it outside of the setback. So we'll make that change regardless, I think.
Okay,
But other than that, I think everything else could potentially stay the same and we wouldn't have to apply for a variance.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
sounds
so.
so reword,
So
a simple motion.
I move to approve the application as submitted and recommend approval of a variance if the client so chooses to maintain their existing sign sizes,
Logo size.
logo sizes, logo dimensions, however we want to phrase that.
Or smaller, or
Yeah, up to the existing logo size.
All right, nice and simple. Do we have a
Sorry, Roz.
Do we have a second? Coleman, this
second.
is your chance. Oh, Elena beat you to it. Okay,
All right.
Elena is the second. Is there any discussion on this motion? Not seeing anyone say anything. Let's take our vote.
Okay, cheers for us, Newland. So the motion is approve application of sign replacement as submitted and recommend approval of a variance if client chooses to maintain existing logo size or smaller. And I'm adding this last part and reducing the height of one ground sign as needed to 6 feet. That sound okay? In a setback. Or relocate.
Okay.
Yeah, did we decide we needed that last?
Well, we
don't
need it for
that
zoning
last-
purposes.
But
for-
they're gonna change it so that it's not necessary.
Okay, so we don't want to add that? Okay,
Yeah, no need to add that. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so let me just say it one more time. So the motion is approve application of sign replacements and recommend approval of a variance if client chooses to maintain existing logo size or smaller. Okay, so is that
I
right?
would recommend that we actually keep that for the height in the motion because that is a reflection of this meeting and the findings of the meeting. So it will still kind of keep what the discussion and the agreement is if
Yeah.
it's in the motion. That's just my recommendation.
Yeah, because we
Yeah,
would have to
I
put in
agree.
the letter anyway at some point.
Okay, you okay
I
with that,
agree.
Palani?
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Okay,
Okay. And you
Okay.
okay with that, Elena, on your second? Okay. So I think
Yes.
we've settled on this motion and we've had our discussion. Are we ready to have a vote?
okay, roll call vote. Commissioner Greenwald, maker of the motion.
I
Commissioner Kapua.
Aye.
Okay, Commissioner Kokoski, second on the motion.
Aye.
Chair Roth
I,
and Commissioner Singh.
Aye.
Okay, so it's 5 votes in favor.
right,
Yes.
this
Yeah.
motion is adopted.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is old business and it's application PLKVD 2023000040. The applicant, Randy Tamayo of Arthur Mori and Associates is requesting design review of the resubmitted plans addressing issues raised by KVDC in the 9/12 to the 2023 meeting for the new industrial warehouse and open parking structure at the base yard for Hawaiian Telecom located at 74-5547 Palani Road, just east of Queen Kahumanu Highway. The exterior color theme for the warehouse is black, white, and gray with a Mount Hood white metal roof and siding with black window frames and slats and various other. What's the other part of mine? Oh. Trim elements. And the parking structure would have Mount Hood white standing seam metal roof. The proposed warehouse and parking structure would be located behind an existing central office building and parking area. Proposed landscaping is added along the front yard facing Palani Road and along a portion of the west property boundary facing Queen Kahumanu Highway. Applicant Randy Tamayo of Arthur Mori Associates, landowner Hawaiian Telecom, TMK 74008020, located at 74-5547 Palani Road. Staff could please give us an introduction to the resubmitted application.
Okay, Chair, I'm gonna share the screen. Oops. Okay, do you see that PowerPoint? Slide 1?
Yep.
Okay. So this is the Hawaiian Telecom site. We'll go to the next slide. It's there in the corner. It looks like a small little parcel here. Across the intersection from Palani and Queen Kaimana Highway. Just south of the highway. So it's an interesting site because it has a vacant parcel in front of it towards the highway. But the new addition of the information from their last presentation before the commission back in September is that they're adding landscaping. So I'm going to show it to you in a minute, but they're going to be adding landscaping along the frontage along Palani and then partway along the west side in front towards the edge of the building, I think would be as far as it goes along the boundary, on the western boundary. We'll see that in just a minute. There's a site plan of the new parking structure in the back, and then the new warehouse building behind the central office building towards the front, and the new parking facing Palani. And you'll see the outline of the landscaping there. You see how the landscaping comes around the corner facing Queen Kaimana Highway to the edge of the office building. So there's trees and shrubs. They have they say the type, I believe. Well, they do on their landscape plan. Okay. I'll get to that in a moment. You've seen it before. This is the elevations of the parking structure, the canopy over the parking, and then the building, shed style roof. There's a parking structure. There's a front facing elevation of the building. Two-story building. I have the colors in just a moment. There's a roof view of the parking structure. There's a floor plan with conference rooms and office and network room for their computers. Warehouse area, repair. Here's their colors. There's in a bit, so black, gray color. Oops. And the Mount Hood white, and then the gray color that they chose. Here's their landscape plan. They're choosing the Hawaiian coat tree and the green spider lily for the spona shrubs. And they're gonna have there's existing basalt lava that they'll feature into the area of the landscape strip. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trees, and then the shrubs in between. So 25-gallon containers for the trees. That's pretty good. Very good, actually, to start off with. Well, that's the last slide. And there's a picture of the coat tree when it's mature. And there's a spider lily. The spider lily is in the recommended plants for the master plan of Kailua, so is the coat tree, I believe. Yeah, it is. And the color should be shown on here. Which ones are which? Oh, the metal roof is the Mount Hood white. The slats are black matte. And the window frames are black, as you can see there. And on the metal roof is, I believe that's also white. Okay. Any questions on this? Look at the landscaping some more.
So Roz, like when we're looking at where those colors were, that they have that Sherwin-Williams paint color there, that field color, that Sherwin-Williams called Gray Matters.
Yes.
I thought it looked like, and it doesn't look like we have the applicant on the call today, so I don't think we're going to get answers from them. But when I was looking through those color charts, yeah, they've got the tags, and it appears as though they're stucco and painted metal.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be that that gray matters, that gray color.
Yes,
Most of so in the elevations, the wall color basically is gray.
I think so.
The
Yeah,
trims are black, right?
yeah,
That's the way I read it.
that's the way I was looking at it. Let me go see if they pointed it out anyhow. A
Yeah.
little bit better.
So I believe that the metal and the stucco are both the gray. And then the window trims are the black, and then on the lower level, they've got split face concrete CMU. So that'll be
Yeah,
a gray color as well.
yeah.
Okay, I don't have any other questions. Thanks, Roz.
Okay, thanks.
Commissioners, does anyone else have any questions for Roz? Okay, not seeing anyone questioning, so.
I
go
got a
ahead.
quick
ahead, Lonnie.
question. Yeah, do we have a list? I guess we have the minutes from the last meeting, but there were several requests made. I know the tree count being brought up to like commercial standards for a parking lot. And then I seem to recall that I made the request that they add a like a rendering on the site, looking from the highway. It doesn't look like they've.
So it's not in the presentation, but Palani, in the packet that was put up,
I thought they provided one. Did I?
Yeah,
I
they
miss
did.
it?
Did
Yeah,
they?
it's in the
Okay.
packet. Yeah.
in the packet, they had
I missed it. Yeah,
like
they
a
did
three,
provide one.
there's like a 3D view.
Yeah, let me look.
And it's on, I'm looking for it.
Let me see if I can.
Like the third to the
There's-
last page.
There's it's page 11 out of 13. There's sort of a 3D view of it. Yeah, and somehow that one didn't make it into the presentation.
Let me see if I can quickly get that.
But-
Just a moment.
I think, Palani, one of the things that's significant in that 3D rendering is it appears as though they're painting the existing building to coordinate with this new building.
I'm gonna get that up in just a moment. If you bear with me for a minute here.
Yeah, I got
I've
it.
got-
It's loading up on my screen here too, but
Yeah, FYI, I wasn't able to download that, all those documents and all of this.
Oh, you weren't able to get them, Coleman. Okay.
No,
Roz, are you able to pull up that
I'm
one?
I'm working on it right now. Just
Okay.
just a moment.
oh yeah, I gotcha. Okay.
You hear? I just have to switch screens. Just a minute.
I could share mine right now too if you wanted, but up to you.
I've got it right here.
All right.
There we go.
You see it?
Yeah. So that would be looking from,
Sort of across Palani Road.
yeah, just at a strange
At a
angle.
different angle. Yeah, it's hard to.
It's an odd angle.
You don't really see it from above, you see it from below, but that's kind of better. I hate the white roof, I really do, but yeah, I don't know how much. I know they wanted to go with white for reflection and heat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which makes sense, but it also sounded like they were going to put solar panels on it, so I don't understand why that's such a big deal. Seems like everybody else has dark roofs here, and that'd be
Well, if
my.
there's solar panels, then maybe it'll break up all that white.
Yeah.
I think it'll just make the solar panels look even more obvious. But, I mean, yeah, I don't think you'll even see the roof though from the road, just because of the height of the building.
So let's stay on agenda here. So any other questions for Roz before we move on to discussion? Okay. And then Roz, maybe go ahead and leave this up for now.
Okay.
Okay, so then let's move on to discussion. Okay. So for one thing, I appreciate that they went and added all the added the landscaping in and have softened the colors of the building, you know, because before it was all basically just black and white. And so I think that really helps. And Palani, I definitely sympathize with you about sort of wanting a from the street view. Because, you know, I sort of suspect that that from Queen Kailua, we may not be able to see that roof. But
Yeah, I think you're right.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on Google Street View, and from the angle I'm looking at it, you don't really see the top of the roof.
Yeah, I think it's unlikely that it's going to be seen. Yeah, and then of course because of the way it's tipped, as you're coming down Palani Road, it's going to be tipped away from you. So again, probably won't be seen too much.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fight about it anymore. That was my only comment.
And I think in the I didn't see the treatment of the existing building really really called out so much, but like this particular image makes it look like they're going to repaint the existing building to coordinate with the new building. And so I'd like to see you know, something added, you know, if we do approve this, something added to the approval to just clarify that we're expecting that the existing building is going to be painted to coordinate with the new building.
Yeah, could we make that a condition of our approval?
I'd like to see that, because to me, then it makes it one whole complex. I think if that, you know, if they end up leaving that old building with the old peeling paint on it, and it's basically white with faded blue, right? That'll look really odd. Yeah.
Also, is there a way we can reference what we discussed last time so that we can make sure those things were addressed? Would that be in the minutes?
Yeah, we'd have to
or
look at the minutes from
We'd have to go back to minutes.
September.
Yeah.
September? Let's see.
And yeah, so from what I remember, is my main comments were the landscaping was like the number one, and then the fact that the whole thing was just black and white, and there was no giving nothing back. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was the September meeting, draft meeting minutes here.
Yeah, I found them too. You have them, Plani?
Yeah. Oh, but it doesn't have. I'm looking at the draft. Maybe I need to look at the next meeting.
No, they'd still be draft until they're approved. They're draft. Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at the 8/8 draft.
I'm on September 12th, and it says Chair Roth requested clarification of the required landscaping of the parcel. Ms. Newland pointed out that the parcel is zoned ag, which has no specific landscape requirements, and the special permit issue for the use may not have landscape requirements, but that will be reviewed during plan approval. So as we can see, it looks like they addressed that. And then Randy Tamayo did confirm that landscaping has not been proposed and that the intent of use is for as much of the parcel as possible for operational activities, but that they're willing to look into it. Mr. Tamayo went over the use intent of the layout of the building and operation, and also pointed out that the colors identified in the application have been proposed to be the brand new color scheme for Hawaiian Telecom. I remember that they were using this scheme for everywhere.
One thing to note about the parking in the parking in the rear of the building, that when you have a parking structure that provides shade over parking spaces, that eliminates the need for trees, interior parking lot trees. So whenever you see parking structures that eventually, sometimes they put, doesn't really matter if they do, or most times they're putting carport structures for future, at the same time they put solar panels. So that option reduces or eliminates the need for parking lot trees or interior parking trees because it's providing shade. So just getting back to that one note about trees in the parking lot in the rear.
Yeah.
They wouldn't need the 1 per 12 parking spaces in the area where the parking lot structure is. And my main concern was the street, the frontage, right? So, you know, and
right.
more so than their back parking lot. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, we can,
Yeah.
well, the trees along the frontage, some of those right along the front will count towards parking lot trees also. We can review this further with them when, during their plan approval application to see if some more should be in with the trees closer to the building. You know, there's a whole string of parking stalls.
Yeah, I think the main, like the overall point of discussion last time too was that because it's being put to a light industrial type of use, regardless of its agricultural zoning, that, you know, the feeling was if it were brought into compliance with a more appropriate, you know, zoning requirements for this type of building, then, you know, that would be acceptable. At least that was kind of my feeling about it.
Yeah,
Like, if they're gonna
Yeah,
use it for light industrial, then it should meet the light industrial type, you know, landscape requirements and all that. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
It
I
looks like
remember that.
sounds like they've done that. So
Well, and
Yeah.
well, that's where I'd rather that they put all the trees on the street
right.
and don't bother with the back parking lot, because if they don't want it back there, that's fine.
Yeah.
And same as like the, you know, between the fire station and this, right? No need, they're both, you know, they're sort of similar kinds of uses really. And so there is not, to me, is not so much of a concern. It's mainly just presenting sort of a nice front to that, you know, the main intersection in town, right?
Yeah.
And I think they've tried to address it in a reasonable way. So I'm satisfied with it.
Yeah, and I'm skimming the rest of the minutes because there was more than what I read, and it's pretty much about landscaping, a little bit about the color scheme. So
Yeah. To me, they address the stark black and white, you know, by adding some more muted colors to it, and especially then if they're also going to include the existing building. They just gotta, when they come in for their sign permit, it better be a nice looking sign.
We ask for a mural.
Well, I like their old trucks and stuff where they have all, you know, the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
little artist on it and everything,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful. So I hope their new corporate doesn't kill all that.
Yeah. They need to go talk to Hawaiian Telcom.
Yeah.
I mean, Pelco. Sorry, they are Hawaiian
Yeah.
Telcom.
Any other discussion? Anyone care to make a motion about this? Coleman, you've been just waiting to make a motion all day. You're muted though.
Too complicated for me.
Huh? Anyone? Elena, you can do it.
okay, I'm gonna take another crack at it.
Okay.
I gotta talk it through a little bit first before we make it official. So I'll make a motion to approve this application as proposed with the condition that the same color scheme be applied to the existing building. Good.
Simple. Anyone care to second such a nice, simple motion?
All right, I'll second it.
All right. Thank you, Coleman. Okay. So we have a second by Coleman. Is there any discussion on this nice, simple motion? That's my unbiased discussion.
Yeah, really.
Okay, no discussion. So let's proceed to vote on it.
Okay, Chair, we'll do a roll call vote, make sure I got the motion right. Approved application as proposed, provided the same color scheme be painted on the existing building. Did you say painted or provided? I'm not sure.
I think it said applied. But
Applied, yeah, right. Applied to the existing building. All right,
Mhm.
Commissioner Greenwell,
I,
Commissioner Kailua, second of the motion,
Aye.
Commissioner Kilkowski, maker of the motion,
Aye.
Chair Roth, Commissioner Singh.
Yeah,
Okay, those 5 ayes. Pass the vote. Pass the
And
motion.
motion is adopted. Yay. Okay, we finally get these guys out of here. Okay, next item, is there any administrative matters?
Yes, we have our schedule for next year. And it was distributed or available for download. And basically it's pretty much the same where we have 2 meetings per month except for December. There's a 1 or 2 meetings that are really close together just because of how either holidays ended up or whatnot, but unless anybody has some issues that they've identified that we need to address right now, the proposal for next year is set, or it's being proposed.
So any of you who are going to be chair next year have any issues with the schedule? Speak up now. Okay, do we need to approve the schedule?
No, unless there's anything that I needed to make adjustments, this will be published as is.
So at this point, no comments. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Are there any announcements?
Just that our next meeting is tentatively scheduled for December 12th.
Okay.
And Roz, if I'm not mistaken, we have somebody that we're trying to work with, so we may have something in line, but they are still there's some issues with their application that we're trying to iron out.
Correct. Yeah, so we'll see.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you all for allowing us to make quorum today and let all of these applicants be able to move through the county system. Thank you for putting in all this volunteer time. It's appreciated. And we'll say that there's no further business. The meeting is adjourned at 2:20 p.m. Not bad for 3 agenda items.
Yeah.
Good job, everyone.
Very much so.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Okay.
everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.